Hello and welcome to this week's Angel Oracle card reading for week commencing the 16th of July 2018. I'm actually re-recording this video as last week we had some quite severe tech issues and my voice was practically mute, so I can only apologise for that. Thank you to everyone that brought that to my attention. We still have a little bit of interference in the background, unfortunately, and so I can only apologise for that as well. I'm trying to get this sorted as soon as possible, and now we have some drilling outside as well. But as long as you can hear me, I think that's the main thing, that we can connect and that you don't have to sort of try and lip read what's going on. So this week we're going to use the energy oracle cards. And we're going to pull 3 cards to symbolise the beginning, middle and the end of the week. Obviously we've already done this reading, but we're going to do it completely fresh, as if we hadn't. And I feel that there's perhaps a message for that. Sorry, I'm just getting pop-ups now. we have to work with the technology that we have. So, right, So we're just going to do this a completely fresh reading. There are sometimes reasons I feel for this, like in the past I've done readings before, video readings for YouTube, and maybe it hasn't been that the sound hasn't worked, but it's that the video hasn't recorded, or for whatever reason. I always feel that there's another divine reason behind that, as though perhaps a new message needs to make itself more clear. That's what I believe. So we're going to pull our 3 cards to symbolise the beginning, middle and the end of the week. So let's check out what comes up for the start of this week. We have card 46 and it is the Thinking Man. This is really interesting. He's holding these quartz crystals in his hand, and what is so quite cool about this card is I was doing some Reiki healing this week, and the image that was coming through was pretty much exactly this quartz crystal. I feel like we're being guided in a way to work with quartz this week. It's a very healing crystal, and it works with all other crystals as well. So some crystals, for example, lapis lazuli, which is what I'm wearing around my neck, this was used, I suppose, in Egyptian times and very much for psychic ability and prophetic dreams. But quartz crystal can work with a number of crystals. So, for example, if you were working with amethyst, that can help us sleep. So you might not want to work with amethyst and citrine at the same time, because citrine is to energize us and give us energy and motivation and spark. So those 2 crystals could possibly counteract each other, whereas quartz, we can work with all crystals, plus it can charge our other crystals. So if we feel that we've got crystals that the energy on them isn't quite as strong, if we sit them next to a quartz crystal, that can work wonders. But the words on this card is the Thinking Man. If you're male watching this video, this could be that you're very deep in thought about a situation that's going on in your life. You might not know which path to take right now. Maybe you're confused. It could be about a lover. It could be about your career or business, even the location that you're living in. You're deep in thought. And if you have a partner that's male and you're watching this, you could be picking up on that energy, that your partner is deep in this thought, and you might want to just sort of give them a bit of support and just let them know that you're there to talk to. It might not be a partner, it could be a brother, a father, a friend, a male in your life that is in this deep thinking time and might just need somebody to run past some ideas to, or to vent to, someone to just listen. But it is very much about making choices and weighing up decisions at the start of this week, but it's very centered around a male in our lives in some capacity, is what I'm feeling from this card. And 46, 6 and 4 is 10, and 10, as we know, is a new chapter. It's the end of a cycle and the start of a new one. So the thoughts that are going into this decision making is going to bring about change, but it's not necessarily something that we're going to be doing alone. It is in collaboration with this male figure in our lives. As we move to the middle of the week, we have the number 8. 8 can be, we've said in other videos, a number of infinity. Indecision. Indecision is a very, very powerful emotion. And the problem with indecision is that we are not really staking our full power. I read a book a few years ago called Outwitting the Devil. It was written in, I think it was written in 1939, I believe, by an author called Napoleon Hill, and it was actually banned at the time for being released because of the content. But it's a very interesting book, and I'll pop a picture of it here if you want to go and check it out. Basically, there was a guy called Napoleon Hill who was successful in business in lots of ways, and he had this experience, I think it began in Washington, if my memory serves me, where he basically interviewed the devil. So we don't know whether this could be real in his head or it could be a metaphor. And one of the questions he asked the devil was, how do you manipulate people? What is the easiest way of controlling people? And the devil gave a list of ways that it's easy to control humans. Toxins in our body, including alcohol, cigarettes, things like that. It does lower our vibration and makes us more susceptible to being manipulated according to this book. But the main reason, the main thing that gives away our free will, gives away our personal power, is indecision. He calls these types of people drifters. So if we're drifting along, we don't have any clear goal and we don't know where we're doing or where we're going, we're just drifting, it's very easy for us to be manipulated. It's like that old saying, if we stand for nothing, we fall for everything. And there are periods in our lives where we all experience indecision. It's not about blame or saying we're a bad person to feel indecisive. We've all been there. But paired with this thinking man at the start of the week, I feel that this week is really asking us to get clear on something. Just one aspect of our life where we know what we want. Because in this card, we've got this little Red Riding Hood figure walking through the woods, and there's these signposts, and they say indecision. She doesn't know which way to go. And so I'm really feeling from this card this week that we have to make some choices so that we can exert our free will and our power as a human being to make our own choices and not be swayed by outside influences that could push us in the wrong direction sometimes. So we're asked to use discernment and get clear and focused on what we want. It's not about fear, it's just about taking back our own personal power. And as we move into the end of the week, we have card 16. 1 and 6 is 7. I often feel 7 is a number of change, but not so much like the number 5. Number 5 is great, great change. If we think of 6, we're moving on from something. 7, it is sometimes we have a lot of options, we have a lot of opportunities, which can be a good thing. We have a lot of choices, which can sometimes lead to this indecision. But it's asking us to be patient. And in this card, we have this angelic, kind of fairy-like figure who is holding this clock, and it's in her solar plexus chakra. So this could be linked to our free will again, our willpower, our creativity in some ways. And it's asking us to just be patient. We hear, don't we, patience is a virtue, but it's almost like if we put our order in to the universe, it's been heard. It has been heard. And in some roundabout way, it will be delivered. Maybe not always in the way we've expected. We've also heard that saying that God works in mysterious ways. And this card is a reminder of that. We have been heard. Our prayers have been heard. We've just got to develop and hold on to that patience. Just know that the time in our eyes is very linear, but universal time isn't. So when things aren't working well to our schedule, it doesn't mean that they're not working. It just means that we just need to sort of relinquish a bit of control about when and how we want things to happen, and trust that we have asked and our prayers have been heard. And that is what faith is all about. Faith is fully committing and throwing ourselves into something when we don't know the outcome, but we have trust and we have faith that things can be delivered to us. Great things, wonderful things. So just to recap, thinking man, a male in our lives, or if you're male watching this, it could be you. Very deep in thought about a situation in their life. Know that you're not alone, and there is sort of, in society we have this idea that, you know, men aren't allowed to show emotion or cry or be sensitive or in tune with their emotions, and that is so damaging, not only to males, but damaging to our planet as a whole. It's throwing things out of balance completely. So if you're going through something that you're worrying about and you are male, speak up about it to somebody. And if you know a male in your life, if we know, you know, a male in our life who's struggling, then we got to do our best to be there for them. It's really what this card, I'm feeling from this card. In the middle of the week, we are not being indecisive anymore. We're going to make some decisions. At the end of the week, just having some patience that what we've asked for will come into fruition. So I hope that you've enjoyed the reading for this week. I'm so sorry that I've had to re-record it. I can only apologise again, but I'm really grateful that if you've tuned in again for round 2 of week commencing the 60th, it means a great, great deal to me, and I look forward to reading your comments as always. And until we speak again next week, I'm sending you so much love and many, many blessings. Lots of love, Alyssa.